The image on this month's cover is of Simi Stone, a local musician here in the Hudson Valley. We photographed her at BSP in Kingston, and the idea was to illustrate a bunch of musicians in current fashion. So I got into portraiture for a couple reasons. One, I'm a fan of psychology. I love analyzing people and what makes them really work. For me, photography is one of those things that allows me to actually look into someone, really kind of spend a few minutes with them, and within that time I can kind of really figure out what they like, what they don't like about themselves, and how to accentuate positive parts about them. To me, that is a basic of portrait photography, and most good portrait photographers really are really good listeners and have the ability to make people comfortable. There's a certain relationship I like to have with my subject that allows for trust to happen fairly quickly. So many of the calls I do get are for people that need photographs for specific reasons. And that really dictates how we're going to approach it, where we're going to approach it. I shoot both in the studio and on location. Both are fun. I like location quite a bit in that it has so many variables. It really pushes you to be uncomfortable all the time, and you can't rely on a lot of set things. Weather can change, backgrounds can move, anything can happen. The studio is much easier. However, the studio runs the risk of being more sterile. So in the studio, you have to experiment a little bit more with your lighting and your approach to make it more interesting. But in the end, they're both very, very needed. There's a place for both of them. So when I'm shooting it, that's one of the first questions I ask someone is, do you want to be in a real environment? Do you want to be in a studio? And then we kind of take it from there. So on a lot of shoots, we try to bring in outside help. And by that I mean hair and makeup, retouchers, or even stylists for clothing. There are many reasons why when you look at through a magazine, images look the way they do. It's not just the photography, because photography in itself is a small part of it. The bigger component to all of this is when you start adding in many people. And when people start suggesting or adding their approaches to it, that's when you have a great image. I have made some great images on my own, but I've made many, many more better images with the help of other people. So a lot of times I will get asked, what should I wear? How should I do my hair? And this is a very tough question to ask because I have my opinions, of course. A lot of what I do is about making someone very, very calm in front of the camera. So I do tell them, what would you want to wear? What do you like? And if there's something that's not working in the camera, then I'll make my point about saying that. But for a lot of things I do, I tend to not over-direct. I like to set up a situation and let people run with it and let them react within that situation, and then I get what I need. If the situation's not giving me what I need, I'll set up a new situation. So many times I'm asked by people if they should get into photography as a career, and I tell them all the same thing. In those few seconds that you're picking up a camera, looking through it, and interacting with someone, you go into your own world. It's a very unique experience to have with another person, a very intimate experience, and it's really very, very fulfilling. If you can get paid to do something you really love, it's really great. And I encourage everybody to try doing that. Other times it's a job like every other job, but for the most part, it has been a great experience in the last 20 some odd years.